Baseball podcast. Yep, another baseball podcast. Here we talk about baseball like a few friends sitting at the bar. Awesome. We welcome your input and look forward to your comments. Jeez, some wild games and results it seems like this year. I guess we have to dive right into this. What is going on this year with scoring runs? Teams are giving up a ton of runs this year, and we've got some strange results so far. Well, we've talked about this in the podcast and numerous times, and it's our main topic of discussion. The once again imploding bullpens. But are you seeing a change in starters this year? Are you seeing them go perhaps a little more than the 4 or 5 innings we've had in recent years? If you look at the top starters in the major leagues right now, as a team, could you guess the top 5? I don't think it would surprise you. The one thing that is surprising is the Milwaukee Brewers. They've given up only 91 runs from their starters for a nice 3.06 ERA. Number 2 is the overachieving Tampa Bay Rays, 92 runs from their starters. The Yankees have given up only 112 runs. The Braves are next with 113, and rounding out the top 5, the Dodgers with 116. So, that's no surprise, right? You recognize those teams, those names. They've all been playing pretty well this year, and they seem to be using their starters a little more reliably than their relievers. So, who are the bottom starters? Well, this will make a lot of sense to you. The San Francisco Giants starters have given up 172 runs. That's almost twice as much as the Brewers, who lead the majors. The Marlins are next with 169. The Colorado Rockies are number 3 at 167. The Baltimore Orioles are 4th worst starters with 166. And the Chicago Cubs, yes, the streaky Cubs, they either win 10 in a row or lose 10 in a row. Well, they have 157 runs given up by the starters. Those are the 5 worst teams with starters giving up runs. Are any of those teams playing well right now? They're kind of all struggling. Interesting, right? It stems from the starters. What a concept. Now, here's the related issue with it. Who are the top bullpens, and how does this relate as far as, well, screw every other stat. The name of the game is runs. Who gives up the least amount of runs wins, right? Not rocket science. Now, you know we've talked about this, but it really seems strange as no one is getting involved with this topic because it seems so obvious how teams with the best starters that go the longest, relying the least on the bullpen, are imploding minimally. Now, I know exactly what you're saying. Duh, no kidding. It's obvious, but why is it not happening throughout the league? Why do we still have these bullshit analytics leading the cause? Because we don't have fucking managers anymore that really manage or know the game. I think the analytics thing is way out of control. It's a tool to help you until you let it take over. There's too much information. Let the players play. For example, If Cam Schlittler of the Yankees is mowing down the opponents after 6 innings, throwing 74 pitches, why are they even warming up anybody in the bullpen? Because it's the 3rd time around? I'm just using him as an example. There's plenty of pitchers that you could do this with. The Yankees have one of the worst bullpens out there, as they blow games left and right after the 7th inning. If you can get 8 innings out of your starter, isn't there less of a chance of the bullpen blowing the game? Wow, what a concept. I'll tell you what, have you seen a Washington Nationals game this year? Perhaps not. Since you have to look for them, they're not exactly a national TV kind of team, but they're playing well. They're exciting. They're fun. They have some great young players. Why they don't lock up James Wood, that's another thing. But they struggle. Holy shit, do they struggle. So, who are the bottom 15 teams in Major League Baseball after the 7th inning when the bullpen come into the game? Number 1 on this list is the Washington Nationals. Their bullpen gives up 183 runs when they come into the game. Astros, who are 2nd, White Sox 3rd, Rockies 4th, Angels 5th. Those 5 teams are playing pretty shitty this year. Okay, I guess except for the White Sox. Other poorly performing bullpens are the Baltimore Orioles, the Reds, the surprising Tampa Bay Rays, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Toronto Blue Jays. The remaining top 10 in bad bullpens, the Tigers, the A's, the Royals, the Cardinals. They all have struggled with their bullpens as well. Are you really surprised to hear those teams? No, of course not. This is one reason why I wouldn't fire the Mets manager. I'd fire the GM more than anything because the Mets suck, but their bullpen, they don't have as much opportunity to blow games because they're never in a lead, really. We've talked about that too, right? Now, what about the top 15 bullpens? Now, that might surprise you. The Los Angeles Dodgers bullpen have given up only 61 runs. 61, as opposed to the Nationals who have given up, holy shit, 183. Now, no surprise at number 2, the Seattle Mariners. The only thing that surprises me with the Mariners is their inconsistency year after year. So would you call that consistently inconsistent? I don't know, whatever. They just seem to come up with new excuses year after year. This was the year that people picked them to run away with the division. With the Astros being in a declining year, it's not happening, right? Well, how about the Braves? They have the 3rd best bullpen, giving up only 73 runs. The Texas Rangers are on this list. Teams that lead the game 1 through 6 innings and then struggle to close it out innings 7 through 9. Teams like the San Diego Padres, the Boston Red Sox, the Kansas City Royals, the Rangers, and the Blue Jays. Those teams are struggling. They're playing like shit, really, most of those teams. So why is that? They have leads, but the bullpens are blowing the game. The teams that have blown the most after 7 innings, well, that's not going to surprise you at all. The Angels, Nationals, A's, Reds, Royals, Orioles, even the Twins are on the list. These are teams that are consistently blowing games, and it's all because relievers come in and give up runs. Mind-boggling, right? This is really... we've talked about the imploding bullpens over and over. But why does it keep being an issue? Why doesn't anybody just have the balls to come out and say, pitching lately in Major League Baseball, the bullpens actually suck for 3/4 of the teams. Why are we not seeing teams break this pattern? Why are teams consistently giving a crappy bullpen the opportunity to blow games? I guess it's a new age thing. Just continue to listen to analytics and not go by what you're seeing on the field. Perhaps that is the problem. Is anybody watching these games? Are you noticing that teams are up 3-1? They take the starter out in the 6th inning, and then you check the box score the next day, and the score was 9-7. What the fuck? What happened? It's really funny that if you look at all these names that I've thrown at you, the struggling teams like the Toronto Blue Jays, the Red Sox, Royals, Tigers, I guess you could really say the entire west of the American League, the A's, Mariners, Rangers, Astros, Angels, they were all on this list. The Nationals, Marlins, Mets in the East, the Cubs, Pirates, and Reds rounding out the list with the Rockies, Giants, and Diamondbacks. Those are teams struggling due to various reasons of pitching and lack of hitting the most. Most of it is because of what we just said. The bullpens not doing the job, and the starter is not enabled to go past 4 or 5 innings. Well, that's my continued rant on pitching for the day. Okay, another fun kind of thing. Player jerseys. Have you bought one yourself? Are you a fan of your local star? Top selling Major League Baseball jerseys. I'm going to guess that you're not really surprised to hear Shohei Ohtani has led that list for 5 years. Now, the names that are leading this year in the 2026 season are Shohei Ohtani, Yamamoto of the Dodgers, Judge of the Yankees, Cal Raleigh of the Mariners, Mookie Betts, Nolan Arenado of the Diamondbacks, Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers, Pete Alonso, Roman Anthony of the Red Sox, Pete Crow Armstrong, Kyle Schwarber, and rounding it out, Kike Hernandez from the Dodgers. Wow, that's kind of wild. Now, if you're wondering, last year's list was very different. I mean, we had names like Francisco Lindor, Bryce Harper, Jose Altuve, Ronald Acuna Jr., Clayton Kershaw. So we're missing a lot of different names. Last year, the most popular jersey sales, once again, was Shohei Ohtani. But Freddie Freeman was on that list as well. It's interesting how the list has changed a bit this year. The top 3 player jerseys sold, like I said, Ohtani's number 1, Yamamoto of the Dodgers is number 2, and Aaron Judge is number 3. I think Cal Raleigh is taking advantage of last year's spurt as he's number 4, Mookie Betts is number 5, but the Dodgers have 4 players on this list. And at number 12 on the list was Kike Hernandez, who is the 4th most popular Dodger in jersey sales. That's kind of cool. But it seems like we're missing the young stars this year. Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., Nick Kurtz, James Wood, Ellie De La Cruz, and especially Paul Skeens. Are these guys just not catching on at a national level? Locally, they are leading their teams, and the fans love these guys. But nationally speaking, they're just not catching on. That's the only thing that I can guess with this list of popular jersey sales. Some of them, you can tell, are regional sales from cities that really support their teams. Alrighty, we got to get into it. Possible trades? Now, some teams are underperforming, and they may alter their outlooks if they don't improve. We've talked about, is it too early to panic? But front offices work a little different. We're entering the completion of a third of the season. You can no longer say it's early. One of those teams are the Detroit Tigers. I'm sure you've started to hear the murmurs of, should the Tigers trade Tariq Skubal? Wow. Just the concept of trading the best pitcher in baseball. How do you contemplate that? Well, when that pitcher is entering his free agency period and your team doesn't really see a signing in sight. It's similar to the Soto thing. And plus, the Tigers are 22-34 at the moment of this podcast, and they've played poorly all year. The thing is, though, a nice 10-game winning streak could cement them right back into the division lead. Are they capable of a run like that? Well, they're in the right division, because the American League Central, I'd have to say, yes, they are capable of that. If the Tigers are still sputtering at, let's say, the trade deadline, then I believe they have let's see, how do we put it? They have to trade him. They have to attempt a trade. Now, I guess you can say the end of the summer to improve. Then I think the Dodgers, Braves, Brewers, or maybe Yankees may come a-calling. Before his injury, you had to think he was on the verge of a $400 million free agent contract next year. Is he still? Skubal signed for $32 million this season, and then he enters free agency in the offseason. Last season, Dylan Cease signed for 7 years, $210 million. At age 29, could Skubal get a 7-year contract, possibly in the $300 million range? That would put Skubal at $43 million per year, higher than Zach Wheeler's contract. I think that sounds like a doable thing. Let's watch the Tigers. And free agents. Well, here's a surprising line. If I told you that this player was signed through 2027 and he's getting ready to complete his 6 years, $162 million contract this year, that name would be Freddie Freeman. Now, we've talked about future Hall of Famers and the stats required for entry into the Hall. Believe it or not, Freeman's 6-year contract with the Dodgers is coming to an end after next season. Will the Dodgers re-sign him? Will he decide to leave the Dodgers? Possibly retire? He is in his 17th year in Major League Baseball, and at 36 is still a very productive member of the Dodgers lineup. Will that continue? Well, currently, a typical card year for him is 147 games played, 80 runs, 36 doubles, 23 home runs, around 90 RBIs, hitting about 280 with an 850 OPS and a 140 OPS plus. Remember that podcast? Season 2, Episode 18, Playing to the Card. Check it out if you have not listened to that episode. He still has some pretty solid numbers to me. Do you think a sentimental signing in 2028 back to the Braves is possible? As a part-time first baseman DH? Freddie was underpaid in free agency, so I can see him still in the $19 to $25 million slot. He will be our first no-doubt Hall of Famer in a while, so let's keep an eye on him this year to see if he continues his productivity. Speaking of free agents, the 2027 class of potential free agents. Got to start off with Tarek Skubal, right? And second would be Freddie Peralta from the Mets, Michael King of the San Diego Padres, Kevin Guzman of the Toronto Blue Jays, Randy Arozarena of the Seattle Mariners, Jazz Chisholm Jr. from the Yankees, Brandon Lowe of the Pirates, Luis Ariz from the San Francisco Giants, and Dalton Varsho from the Toronto Blue Jays, and finally, Ian Happ of the Cubs. Those seem to be the top 10 potential free agents. Now, if you're wondering, you're saying, Michael King, wait, didn't he sign a contract? Yeah, but the fucking stupid San Diego Padres gave him an opt-out after each year. So he's making $25 million this year. He's making $25 million next year and the year after that, but he gets an opt-out after each year. Oh, that's so goddamn dumb. I can't believe it. I hate opt-outs. Dumb. So, do you see any players on that list that you would like on your team? Is it too early to think about that? With the odd start to many team season, front offices may be rethinking their plans. I see the top four moving on to new teams. Possibly the opportunity for the largest contract could be Jazz Chisholm. He's only 28 and he completed his first 30-30 year last year with the Yankees. He's gotten off to a bit of a slow start, but lately he's been a vital contributor to the Yankees lineup. For some reason, I do not see the Yankees re-signing Jazz for what could be an 8 to 10 year contract in the $200 million range. Keep your eye on these players to see if they make a free agent impact at the end of this season. Which also reminds me of current hot players. Do you know the name Otto Lopez? Well, he is the Miami Marlins shortstop, and this is his breakout season in progress. As he enters this year as his 5th season in Major League Baseball at age 27, something's clicking in Miami. Otto currently leads the majors in average, hitting .342 and playing lights out at shortstop. In 2024, he had his best year of contact and averaged .270. But this year, he's stepped it up and is one of the reasons the Marlins are very competitive this year. How about the name Xavier Edwards? Holy shit. Yeah, another Marlin. This one a second baseman, and he's having a great start to his season too, as he potentially could be having the best season of his career. Only 26, and in his 4th season with the Marlins, he's hitting .316 and combining for a pretty dynamic double play combination in Miami. His OPS is at .877, and he is another plus player for the Marlins. Makes you wonder how the Marlins sit at 15th in Major League Baseball in runs scored with these two. The Marlins and the Nationals have exciting players, but unfortunately they are still both very consistent. Over in Houston, Mr. Yordan Alvarez. Holy cow, could this be his Triple Crown year? He's got 20 home runs, 39 RBIs, and he's hitting .312 right now. In his 8th year in Houston at age 28, his only demon is that he is too damn consistent. This player gets lost in Houston. He could be in the midst of a career-defining year, so this year we need to watch him because he's leading right now in slugging at .663, OPS at 1,085. He's got an OPS plus of .202. I mean, he's lighting it up. Possible MVP candidate could be sitting on the IL right now in Atlanta. Drake Baldwin has been the most consistent and steady Brave this year. He's got 15 doubles, 39 runs, 13 homers, 38 RBIs with a .303 average, a .903 OPS, all as the everyday starting catcher from the Braves. So let's keep an eye on these players because they're having their breakout season this year, and we get to watch it. I think that's a wrap for today's show. I hope you enjoyed our 11th episode of Season 3 of Mo's World, the baseball podcast. We are in our in-season schedule, releasing new episodes every other Friday. Our next episode will air on June 12th, 2026. Each episode is approximately 20 minutes long. Don't forget, we have a new section in the podcast. You can now support us and become a subscriber. We'll be doing shout-outs, contests, and more to come for those who do. Thank you for listening, and please spread the word to your friends. In the meantime, ask yourself, whose world is it? It's Mo's.